Well, I'm sure everyone's heard about the recent suspending of Chris Jericho for uh, stomping on Brazilian flag in Brazil in this house show WWE did. And I think this is just another example of just how unbelievably PC has become in the last 4 to 5 years. I mean, really? They suspended Jericho for basically what he did was I just recently saw the footage. In fact, a few seconds ago. In fact, he just picked up the flag and threw it down and stomped on it. He didn't really do anything. You know, it's not like he did what Shawn Michaels did, was he put it in his nose and yeah, or even broke the pole that had the flag or anything. All he did was throw it on the ground and stomp. And instead, WWE explaining to Brazil, this is storyline, and Jericho's just basically being a villain and doing a bad thing to get the crowd against him, they suspend him. And it's just ridiculous because since when has WWE cared about offending people, especially when it comes to flags? I mean, ever since the whole Chris Benoit murder suicide, and then they really started to become PC and media friendly when Vince's wife Linda ran for Senate for and uh, and they just became super PC and media friendly. Any and it was just to the point you didn't even want to watch it anymore. It's ridiculous, really. The same company that had Shawn Michaels. That I don't know if that was their idea or Shawn's idea, but they didn't suspend Shawn Michaels when he stuck a flag up his nose, or Undertaker's match with Yokozuna where he broke the Japanese flag. Nor nor should they really. They even if Dirty didn't tell them to do that, they were just in Undertaker's case, he was trying to get a face reaction since he was Yokozuna was basically heel, trying to get heat. Where he was supposed to, even though he was Samoan, he was billed as a Japanese anti-American warrior type of guy, and Undertaker was trying to get a face reaction from the American crowds, but did WWE care about the Japanese people that were offended by that? Hell no. Did WWE care about the Canadian fans that were offended by Shawn Michaels sticking the flag up his nose? Hell no. Hell, this here's the biggest example of how much of hypocrites they are, and and just how ridiculously PC they become in the last 4 to 5 years. In the 80s, Sergeant Slaughter and Hogan were having their feud, and Sergeant Slaughter had turned heel, and he was playing this Iraqi sympathizer, and this is like I think during or right after the first war of Iraq, and he and there was this one segment where Sergeant Slaughter burnt Hulk Hogan, basically put Hogan's T-shirt, called the Hulk Rules T-shirt, on a flag, like on a pole, like a flag, and burnt it to get healing. Well, the original plan by WWE was to have Sergeant Slaughter burn the American flag. Think about this. WWE, the same company that always does all these that preaches of how they're all about free speech, and they always do all these tribute to a troop show, and always tries to make themselves look like as patriot as they can to also try themselves to paint a good picture for their company, basically, and yeah, these are the guys, the same people. They originally wanted to burn the American flag, their flag of their own country, just to get heel heat on Sergeant Slaughter, and it was Sergeant Slaughter's actual idea to burn Hogan's shirt instead, because he thought it would. He knew it. He thought it would be enough heel heat on its own, where he wouldn't have to burn the American flag, and uh, and it did. It did generate a lot of heat for Sergeant Slaughter, and because he didn't want to go with Daddy's original plan, or Daddy F at the time, original plan to burn the American flag. So the company that uh, once originally had wanted to burn the American flag as for a storyline, like during or right after the first Iraqi war, and was all of a sudden suspending Jericho because he threw the Brazilian flag on the ground. What a fucking joke. You know, even if they didn't know Jericho was gonna do that, they couldn't. They're not gonna support him when they told Jericho to go out there and be a heel and do what it takes to get heel heat, and he did that when he threw the flag on the ground and stomped on it, and now they're gonna suspend him after the reason he came back to WWE in the first place was to help them, basically because of their lackage of star power, and also to put their younger talent over so they can to help grow and make new stars for the company. And now they're gonna suspend him, even though he came back to give back to the fans and give back to the wrestling business. They're gonna suspend him. They're out of their fucking minds. It just pisses me off to no end. You know, I think I'm gonna make a video. No guarantee, but I think I'm gonna make a video about the hypocrisy of the WWE as of late, and their obsessive need of just how to be media friendly and just how unbelievably PC they've become in the last 4 to 5 years, ever since the Benoit double murder suicide. That's A, and B for the Linda McMahon running for Senate. So, and this is the perfect example there. And after Jericho has came back basically to help them, it wasn't for the money. Jericho doesn't need money. He has plenty of money. And he was making plenty of money off of Ozzy, really, quite frankly. And I hope this isn't the end of Jericho's career, because I don't, as a wrestler, because I'm a big fan of Jericho, and I don't want to see his career as a wrestling career end like this. You know, over something stupid, over WWE obsessive need to be media friendly and to look good for mainstream. To all of a sudden, Vince wants to not offend anyone when he did the same company that originally wanted to burn the American flag during the Hogan and Slaughter angle, and had Mae Young give birth to a freaking hand and all kinds of other shit like that, offensive shit like that. All of a sudden, it doesn't want to be expensive. My, what a hunk of bullshit that is. And again, I don't want to see Jericho's career end like this. But quite frankly, I wouldn't blame Jericho if he just said, "Fuck you, WWE," and never came back. I really wouldn't, because again, he doesn't need the money, and so WWE needs Chris Jericho actually for the star power and someone to put over these younger talents to make them in the star. So WWE actually needs Chris Jericho a lot more than Chris Jericho needs WWE right now. And if they're gonna treat them like that, like him like that, after he came back for them to support them and to help them and to give back to the fans, you know, even though I don't want Jericho's career to end like this, I wouldn't blame him what's for all for just saying fuck you to WWE and never coming back. I just wouldn't blame him at all. But anyway, subscribe up above, comment down below of your thoughts of this whole Chris Jericho being suspended thing. Like this video, and fuck you, WWE, for suspending Jericho over something so stupid.